Good evening, loves. Hello, hello, and hello, my homesteading homies. Okay, so update. The big move is done. We are finally in our property full time. I'm so excited. This has been such a blessing. I will say a couple things that I was ready for, but not quite ready for. Um, it is so eerily quiet here at night. Like, you can hear a grasshopper fart. It is so quiet. Okay. So that has taken me a little bit of getting used to. Um, I don't know. It's just a different form of quiet, but I enjoy it at the same time. But when you're in the house by yourself and you ain't ready, baby, oh, you just be like, what's that? So now I understand, in the horror movies when the people be like, did you hear noise? I so get it because listen, when the wind blows on the house, it's okay. Yeah, is that you calling? Listen, it is crazy. Or even the wind blows so hard on our dumpster and we can hear the lid like banging against it, and it's a jolt. So it's different, but it's y'all, okay? I'm getting used to it. So now we got the big move done. We're out at the property full time. So now you're like, what's next? Well, there's so many. Listen, the project list. So I have started a 3-year project list of things that we want to get done and accomplish within the next 3 years for our property, our homesteading, everything. But trying to figure out within that first year of projects, what's the next thing that needs to be done first and foremost, other than getting probably some security cameras or something. What do we do for our homesteading? So what we know we need to do is decide what protein sources do we want to have here on the property, whether those are for us to have for ourselves or potentially to sell for income, things that we could do. So do we want to have just chickens? Do we want to have, maybe a cow? Do we want to have lamb? Do we want to have goat? A few things that we're considering. Now, we are in Colorado, baby. Do we want to have bison? No. But we see them every now and then, darting the landscape as we travel to work. But these are things that we're considering. Do we want to just have a garden, or do we want to just do a small garden and a small few animals? And if we do the animals, how many do we want to have? If we just do gardens, do we want to do a greenhouse? Do we want to do raised beds? Or do we want to do a mixture of both? Do we want to have also maybe an orchard with fruit trees? Like, there's so many things to consider. So these are all things that we are in the process of researching and also trying to determine what's the best avenue for us here at the property. When it comes to the animals, we also have to factor in their housing. Right now we have no infrastructure on the property but our home. So now we have to consider and think, okay, do we want to get a small barn for each different animal type to be housed? Or do we want to get a big barn that we're going to put together so that we can have a designated space for each animal type, so that, there's a little arc, so to speak, but, just for everybody, their own separate little spaces, but within one big building. And then if we do that, what's the cost of that? Are we prepared for that already? And then also considering when we do that, how much space do we need for each animal based on how many we want to have? If we want to have a certain amount of chickens, well, you're going to need a certain amount of square space to house each one of those comfortably so that they're not, jam-packed in a small little space and whatnot. So those are things that we're considering and researching. Now, I do know we want to start with chickens. I want some chickens. And we happen to have a great resource actually with a fellow co-worker of my husband that she's a chicken lady. Like, she loves chickens and that's what she does. And so we are kind of now starting to pick her brain about what should we do. And I don't know if y'all know, but apparently there are lots of different species of chickens. I thought it was one. Hang on, lie. Just thought it was one. You know, you get the cute little chickens, they come out the egg with, and there you go. Bam, boom, that's it. That's what I thought. I was wrong. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot that goes into chickens, and I wasn't ready. First of all, pineapples. I wasn't ready. Somebody didn't tell me. I didn't get the memo. So we are going through the initial research stages of choosing chickens. Now there's also what we want to go through is thinking of leasing out a small acreage of our land to maybe board horses for other people who, you know, maybe they're city dwellers, but they want to have their horses out in the country somewhere and we can house them. Or do we want to lease out a portion of acreage of our land to a fellow farmer, you know, with helping them with increase their crops and how much they're able to bring to market each time. We could do that. So there are lots of things that we're considering and we're working on and pursuing on how to go that's going to help us effectively homestead for our family, but also kind of maybe also help someone else and also help us offset some costs for ourselves in this. So this is huge undertaking that we're starting. Part of our planning process also is the financial part of this. You know, this doesn't happen. And, you know, as much as I would love for the money to fall and, you know, we can print it and have our own little printing press, it don't work that way. So mama out here working and, you know, hubby's out here working and we're doing the best we can to get a financial plan in place that's going to be able to help us do what we need to do for each step of the way to get our homestead up and running. So we'll update you all on the next part of the process. Just know a lot of researching is going on over here. And yeah, this is it's fun. A lot more than what I thought it was gonna be, but I'm enjoying the process and hopefully you all will enjoy it with me. So until next time, hey, let's get some homesteading going, baby. Yeah.